Welcome back, my dear students. Today we will explore the role of hormones in glucose homeostasis and calcium homeostasis, the key mechanisms that keep our body's internal environment stable. We will see how hormones like insulin, glucagon, parathyroid hormone, calcitonin, and vitamin D work in harmony to regulate blood sugar and calcium levels, ensuring proper energy supply and bone health. By the end of this today's class, you will understand how these hormones maintain perfect balance within our body's biochemical systems. So, firstly, we should study role of hormones in glucose homeostasis. Importance of glucose regulation. Glucose is the primary source of energy for all the cells. The normal blood glucose level in humans is 70 to 110 mg per deciliter in during fasting condition. Both hyperglycemia, that is high blood glucose, and hypoglycemia, that is low blood glucose, can have severe effects. Hormones involved in glucose homeostasis. Insulin, which is secreted by beta cells of the islets of Langerhans in pancreas, and the stimulus for this secretion is high blood glucose, that is occurs after meal. Function: it promotes uptake of glucose by muscle and adipose tissue via GLUT4 transporter. It stimulates glycogenesis, that is conversion of glucose to glycogen in liver and muscles. It enhances lipogenesis or fat synthesis and protein synthesis. It also inhibits glycogenolysis and gluconeogenesis. The effect is decreases blood glucose level, that is hypoglycemic hormone. Glucagon, it is secreted by alpha cells of islets of Langerhans, and the stimulus for secretion is the low blood glucose during fasting state. So the functions include: it stimulates glycogenolysis, that is breakdown of glucose in liver, and it promotes gluconeogenesis, that is formation of glucose from non-carbohydrate sources. It also enhances lipolysis to release fatty acids for energy. Effect: it increases blood glucose level, that is hypoglycemic hormone. Adrenaline or epinephrine, which is secreted by the adrenal medulla, it functions as it stimulates glycogenolysis in liver and muscles. It inhibits insulin secretion and enhances glucagon action. It also provides immediate energy during stress, like as fight or flight response. Effect: it raises blood glucose level rapidly. Cortisol, which is secreted by the adrenal cortex, functions include: stimulate gluconeogenesis in the liver. It promotes protein breakdown and mobilization of amino acids for glucose formation. It reduces glucose uptake by peripheral tissues. The effect is to maintain blood glucose during fasting or stress. Growth hormone, which is secreted by anterior pituitary gland, its function include decreases glucose uptake by cells and promotes lipolysis and gluconeogenesis. The effect is the increasing of blood glucose level, which is anti-insulin effect. Role of hormones in calcium homeostasis. Importance of calcium regulation, because calcium is vital for bone and teeth formation, muscle contraction, nerve impulse transmission, blood clotting, and after all enzyme activation as an cofactor. Normal plasma calcium concentration is 99 to 11 mg per deciliter, and homeostasis is maintained by parathyroid hormone PTH or calcitonin, and after all vitamin D or calcitriol. So hormones involved in calcium regulation, that is parathyroid hormone or PTH, which is secreted by the chip cells of the parathyroid gland, and the stimulus for the secretion is the low plasma calcium level. This hormone stimulates osteoclasts to release calcium from bone matrix, and it increases calcium 2 plus reabsorption and phosphate excretion. Indirectly, it increases calcium 2 plus absorption by stimulating activation of vitamin D. It also increases blood calcium levels. Calcitonin, it is secreted by parafollicular cells of the thyroid gland. The stimulus for secretion is the high plasma calcium level. It inhibits osteoclast activity and reducing calcium release from bones. It increases calcium deposition in bones, reduces renal reabsorption of calcium. Effect: it's lower blood calcium level. It lowers the blood calcium level. So calcitriol, it is synthesized from cholesterol, then it will form the cholecalciferol within skin, and in the liver it will form the calcidiol, and in kidney it will form the calcitriol. So the stimulus for secretion is PTH and low calcium level. So the functions include: it enhances intestinal absorption of calcium and phosphate, it promotes renal reabsorption of calcium and aids bone mineralization along with PTH. Effect: it increases blood calcium level and supports bone health. Coordination between glucose and calcium regulation. Both the systems work through negative feedback mechanisms such as sensors or receptors detect deviations. Endocrine glands release hormones such as effectors which restore balance, and their hormone secretion is inhibited once balance is achieved. These ensure dynamic equilibrium essential for proper cellular function. So the conclusion, now we can say the maintenance of glucose and calcium homeostasis is very much vital for our life. It involves multiple hormones acting in coordination and opposition, that is insulin versus glucagon, PTH versus calcitonin. Disruption of these mechanisms lead to metabolic disorders such as diabetes mellitus for glucose imbalance and hypocalcemia or hypercalcemia for the calcium imbalance. So my dear students, today we explored the role of hormones in maintaining glucose and calcium homeostasis to vital aspects of our body's internal balance. We learned how insulin, glucagon, parathyroid hormone, calcitonin and vitamin D work together to regulate energy levels and bone health. If you enjoyed this session, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more insightful lessons in biology. See you in the next class. Keep learning and stay curious. Thank you.